Look, it is no shock that ISPs are notorious for blocking legitimate websites throughout the UK. That and closely tracking your online activity. Yet, is NordVPN the most streamlined, best VPN solution for online anonymity? I'm Gavin, welcome, and I'm going to jump straight into this NordVPN review 2023 edition, starting with first impressions. The download VPN steps are pretty much like most other apps depending on your device. Once it's installed, I was met with a nice map interface and a clear server list to my left. Finding the everyday kind of features is easy and intuitive. If I want to anonymize my traffic, I just simply connect to any of the available servers, and I like that there's a recent section at the top. There's a good amount to choose from too, around 5,400 servers worldwide with 60 plus countries, and if I just want a local server, there are about 440 in the UK too. To put this into perspective, Surfshark has around 3,000 worldwide at the moment, so Nord has a good offering within the market, and this large pool should help to avoid overcrowded servers or troubleshooting issues. What else? Right, I tested out this supposedly industry titan across different devices. Though there isn't a lot to say, what's important is that the PC version is really versatile. The most important features are within the main window. Over here, I was able to use the split tunneling feature to choose which apps go through the VPN connection and which just directly go through my main network. This can be handy in the case of heavy resource activities. Mac users will still find NordVPN to be a useful tool, but in comparison, the features are located through a fair amount of settings. Mobile apps are a good way to encrypt your connection on the move. NordVPN is one of the few service providers in the market that has IOXT certified for their Android app too. Impressive. Thankfully, you can access NordVPN with 6 simultaneous connections under one subscription. Despite some competitors offering an unlimited amount, I still feel this is enough for all of my devices and a few friends. Overall, NordVPN is easy to use and works reliably, and since I can honestly recommend it, if you use the link in the description, you can get the best pricing I could find currently. Moving on to one of the pillars of any worthwhile VPN, the security. After all, it can be streamlined but not secure, and NordVPN thinks a lot of itself in this regard. So, is NordVPN safe? Well, the most significant part of the puzzle is their RAM-only servers. They might not have won the VPN race implementing these, but now they have them, which means that no data can be retained after a reboot. What's more, they use a good encryption algorithm and have a no logs policy, which I don't just have to take their word for, it has gone through multiple audits. Even their jurisdiction is privacy friendly. If I was to nitpick here, probably their only controversial move in the past a few years ago would be the merger with Surfshark. Having said that, they still operate under different infrastructures, and Surfshark is also a reputable company in its own right. If you're still wondering, is my data safe with NordVPN, then I'd say there's no red flags here. All the strong security architectures seem to be in place. The rest of the security falls under features. For everyday use, one of the most important features is the kill switch. If the VPN connection drops, rather than letting your data leak, it cuts off internet access. I recommend always keeping this on. Then there's the double VPN and the onion over VPN specialty servers. The first one chains 2 VPN servers together, while the second one combines the benefits of a VPN with the Tor network. Just keep in mind that these two are pretty slow. Yet for me, what makes NordVPN stand out as our proper best VPN candidate is the additional features, especially when they create a fully fledged cybersecurity tool. A prime example of this would be the threat protection, a feature that caused quite the buzz amongst the VPN community. You see, what used to be a simple ad blocker somehow managed to evolve into a real-time malware protection tool. Despite not having scanning options, this does remove threats in real time. I just wish they'd implement a little more customizations and a firewall too. Now, the dark web monitor is also something I like. Since this is a NordVPN honest review, I will say this isn't really something I use from day to day, but that's fine because it will notify me of any leaked information on the dark web, and it's cool that it works at a glance. meaning I don't need to mess around to see any red flags. So what about gamers? I know quite a few people use a VPN to avoid lags and ping when gaming online. A useful feature they've implemented for you lot is the mesh net again. Not something I use every day, but still I tried it out and it let me have LAN parties. This brings me on to performance, not only in the case of gaming, but general streaming and browsing. Does NordVPN match the market here? More importantly, is NordVPN fast? To determine this, I tested popular locations. In this case, it was USA, Japan, and the UK. Keep in mind that your proximity to the server and time of day can be noticeable in your results, but luckily, Nord has quite a selection of servers, so you can always switch it up, and they use a really modern protocol, NordLynx, which pretty much guarantees top speeds. So, the NordVPN speed test results spoke true to their claims. They are fast. More importantly, I found they were consistent. The speed retention is around about 80%. Also, I didn't tend to notice big speed drops or lagging when streaming. So for most online activities, I don't imagine you'd have any problems. If you're enjoying this review of NordVPN and want to see features, updates, or tutorials of cybersecurity tools, please join the community. I'm a new channel and it really does make a difference. Performance leads me on to streaming and torrenting. You see, they kind of go hand in hand. In this case, I'm looking for reliability and stability. As mentioned, NordVPN does have a lot of locations to choose from, and luckily quite a few of them will give access to major streaming players from anywhere. In terms of performance, I'd say NordVPN for streaming is one of the best providers on the market. It's on par with competitors like Surfshark and ExpressVPN. I could consistently access a plethora of content in my testing, and if I did run into issues, I'd just simply switch servers and reload. Job done. Moving this NordVPN review onto torrenting, their unlimited bandwidth is a nice addition here. Despite no torrenting focus features, except a SOC S5 proxy and P2P servers, just keep in mind not all of them will be P2P, which is a bit of a shame really. With all that said, a big consideration for me is the affordability of a provider. Sure, they do well in a lot of the categories, but if the price tag is unreasonable, I ain't gonna recommend them. Within the market, NordVPN stands in the middle ground. You can get their entry-level plan for around about £10 a month. But I will say their long-term plans are really cheap. That's around about £3.50 for the standard 2-year plan. What does that mean in terms of value, and is NordVPN worth it? For any daily user, Nord does pack a punch, and most functionalities I'd expect are there. That and the fact that there's a good amount of devices per account does mean you have versatility with this provider. So I'd say, sure, it is a good option, especially with their background in cybersecurity and strong dedication to users' privacy and security. If you aren't sure, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee, and even NordVPN mobile exclusive 7-day free trial. Annoyingly, access via mobile initially, and then it can be used on any device. The takeaway, is it worth getting a VPN in the UK? If you care about your online data, protecting your internet traffic is a must, so for sure, it is worth it. I'd say that NordVPN is an all-around option of most use cases, but what do you think? Don't forget to join in the conversation and check the description for the best deals. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I'd love to have you back here soon, so I'll see you then.